Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. I've got Cascade Colorworks' newest collection here. This is the Spring Break collection, and it is full of those bright tones we've all been craving for spring and summer. So I'm going to go through each one of these, show you all the swatches, and then I'm going to use a couple of them to put together this very pretty mani with a butterfly nail art. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. We're getting into it. Okay guys, so I'm about a minute late to this party. These have been out for a few weeks, I know, but I still felt like it was worth going through this newest collection from them for you to see, because these colors are not just going to be good for spring, they're going to be amazing for summer too. These are some really bright tones, and you gotta love a color scheme where there are 6 solids with 6 coordinating glitters. I mean, right? That makes all our matchy hearts happy. Alright, so because I am late, I did check the website just to make sure that these were still available as a collection and as individuals, and they all are. So I will have the website link for you down below if you're interested in anything you see here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the swatches. Alright, the first one we have here is Cosmo, and it is just a beautiful, bright, punchy pink solid. Alright, so the coordinating glitter we have is Leilani, and all these glitters are going to be the same composition. They're kind of these holographic shard flakes. So I'll just give you the undertones because they're all going to be the exact same formula. So this is mostly pink and purple. Next we have Papaya, and this is what I would call probably a bright peachy coral. Next up we have Mai Tai. That's the coordinating shard glitter for this one, and the undertones in here are mostly pinks, oranges, and yellows. Next up we have Palm, and I'm calling this like a bright yellow green. The coordinating glitter we have is called Peridot, and the shards in here mostly reflect green and blue and yellow. Next up we have Seaside, and this is a gorgeous minty green. The coordinating glitter we have here is called Caribbean, and the shards in here mostly reflect yellow, green, and teal undertones. Next up is Harper, and I'm calling this a deep sky blue. The coordinating glitter we have is called Gaia. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, and this one mostly reflects green and deep blue undertones. And just out of curiosity, if you didn't know, Gaia is the Greek goddess of Earth. The next one we have is Wisteria, and this is just what I'm calling a mid-tone lilac. The coordinating glitter we have is Amethyst, and this one mostly reflects purple and pink undertones. Now, y'all tell me what you think, but I think these holographic shard glitters look insanely gorgeous out in the sunlight. Alright, so for the mani, I picked out Mai Tai and Papaya. It kind of worked out perfectly, really, because I needed to do an orange mani for a collab, and I didn't really have a lot of orange tones in my collection, and I know these are a little bit more peachy coral, but I felt like they were close enough that I could use them for the orange mani I was going to do, and plus they're just really pretty colors. And I'm going to be pairing them here with Alabaster because I knew I was going to do some nail art, and I wanted something muted for the backdrop so that the nail art could really stand out. So yeah, this is probably my favorite white in my entire collection, honestly, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. Alright, so I'm starting here with Alabaster on the middle finger. I'm going to get this done and completely out of the way before I even think about touching another color, because nothing is more sucky than putting down a beautiful white dip and then staining it with your base brush or your activator brush. So I'm not about that life, so I'm going to get it done and out of the way first. Now let me tell you why I think everybody needs Alabaster. Raise your hand if you hate working with white dip powder. Me, that's me raising my hand. You see me? I'm raising my hand right now. I hate white dip powder. The only thing worse than white dip powder is black dip powder because they are both notoriously difficult to use and they never want to go uneven. They always want to get trapped all up in your cuticles. They always look patchy. You can't buff them very well because they always end up making it look patchier. It's just a nightmare to work with. Except for this one. This one is like literally perfect. I would not change a single thing about it because it's not too transparent and it's not too opaque that it's difficult to work with. It just is so special. And I use 3 layers for this mani, and when it's done, when you look at it, it looks like porcelain, guys. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a dream to work with. I love working with this. In fact, as soon as I get done with this voiceover, I'm going to go get a bigger jar because I'm going to need more of this. It's just such a staple. So if you don't have this, I'm sorry. I don't like to say the word need often, but you do. You need this one. Just trust me. All right, so we are 3 layers in. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this and then we'll move on to the rest. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into the solid called Papaya. And I did think, guys, about talking to you a little bit about the collab for this mani because I do think it's an important topic, but I kind of felt like maybe it might be a little triggering, so I didn't want to trigger anybody. So I guess if you want to see what the collab is for, make sure you check out my mani on Instagram because I'll talk a little bit more about it there. But yeah, that's the reason why I chose not to talk about this collab in this video. And I kind of wanted the focus just to be on the collection as well, so you can kind of get a little bit of everything. But yeah, like I said, go check it out on Instagram because I really do feel like it's a good cause, something that everybody needs to maintain awareness about. So with that said, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit and do the solids, and then I'll be right back. Two layers in, and what a beautiful color. So we're going to go ahead and activate these and then we will move on to the glitter. Alright, so just a little bit about this glitter formula because like I said, all of the colors are in the same formula. This is something that you're going to need to take a little bit of time to manipulate. Now I'm not saying it's difficult to work with because I wouldn't say that at all, but this does have 2 different kinds of flakes in here, and if you know what I mean here. But some of them will melt in, kind of like melt right into the base and be super easy to use, and then some of these are more those stiffer holographic shards, but they just take a little bit of kind of smashing down to get them to stick on there. It's not so much that they're difficult to work with, it's just that you may need to take a little bit more time kind of pressing down and manipulating it. But once you do, it's not chunky at all, but it's just something you may need to take a little bit more time on. But man, when you see it out in the sunlight with a top coat on, so worth a little bit of extra time. It's just beautiful. Alright, so we got 2 layers of this gorgeous glitter on, so now I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate this in my clear dip powder. Now Cascade Colorworks does have a clear dip powder, but I do not currently own it, so I'm using my go-to clear right now, which is the Vivid Glamco Crystal Glass. I did finally get my really big jar in, so I'm super happy. So I'm just going to leave it in this small jar for now, and then if I need to, I'll just fill it up, or you know, if I contaminate it, then I still have my uncontaminated jars, so that's what I've been doing right now. So I'm just going to put my healthy layer on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay into it, and that'll give me a nice thin layer of clear to help encapsulate these shards so that they'll stick down just a little bit better. Alright, so once my clear is dry to the touch, I'm just going to scrub it really good to get any excess clear off. Then I'm going to go and activate it and do my baggy trick, just because I do have a few of these shards that really kind of want to poke up and stick up, so I'll just be able to push them down again with the baggy. Alright, these are looking pretty gorgeous so far, so I'm going to jump off camera real quick and I'm going to file and shape these and I will be right back. Alright, so we are back and I did go ahead and top coat everything but the middle nail with my West Coast gels, and I'm still obsessing over these. Look at that shine. Is that not insane? Everything just looks so beautiful so far, so I'm really excited. So now we're going to move on to the nail art on the middle nail, so that's going to be our butterfly nail art, so that's why I haven't done anything with that one yet. Alright, so we kind of have a hodgepodge of products that we're going to be using for this nail art. So I have 2 of my gels from my Savaland gel paint kit, and I'll have that linked down for you below along with everything else. But this is just the black and the white because I am going to be doing some detail work with these, and I like that they're a little bit more of a thicker formula, more pigmented, so I don't have to worry about them spreading while I'm doing my detail work. And then for the butterfly wings, I'm just going to lay down a base layer of this gel art polish from my Beetles line art kit, the pastel one. So I'm just going to use this to use as the base for the butterfly wings. And then I've got a few tools here. I've got my iGel Beauty Liner brush, I've got this dotting tool, and then I have this old eye makeup brush. It's like a pencil brush, which you can use other brushes, but that's just the one that I'm going to be using because I think it's smaller and more controllable. And then I have this little set of pigments here that I picked up from Amazon, and they're relatively inexpensive, I would say. And you're going to look at this and say, well, there's hardly any product in there, and you're right. But these are pure pigment powders, so these don't have any kind of acrylic mixed in or anything else. These are just pure pigments. So you actually need the tiniest amount to get any effect from them. So for the design, I'm kind of doing sort of a take on a scrub. So I'm going to be scrubbing a couple of these pigment colors into that base gel. So, you know, this is kind of an alternative to using dip powder to scrub. So if you want to do like a regular scrub ombre with these, you could do that too. There's so many different applications, so many different nail art techniques that use these kind of pigments. So it's just something that I think is nice to have on hand for certain techniques. Alright, so before we get into the art, since we are using gels, we're going to be laying down a layer of gel base first, and then we'll cure that. Alright, so we're going to be starting by laying down the butterfly wings with this kind of creamsicle, pale creamsicle orange from the Beetles kit. So I did not come up with this design. I actually have told you guys before, I'm not very artistically inclined. I love the idea of art and I have creativity, but I just don't have those kinds of art skills naturally. So I actually have a few accounts that I follow on Instagram that I think give great step-by-step nail art tutorials. And one of them is, I'm going to mispronounce it, but there's Peterson in there somewhere. But I'm going to have it linked down below because she's one of those European nail artists that does amazing work. And she has tons of these little like step-by-step pictorials of how to do these art techniques, which for somebody like me who sees the big picture and can't really break it down into individual steps to actually pull it off is really, really helpful. So what I'm doing here is basically a actual demo of that pictorial tutorial. So like I said, I will have her Instagram account linked down below, but I just love those. And there's several others that I follow like that. But anyway, to sum it up, what I'm just doing is actually drawing the wings, and it'll look a little off kilter because the butterfly is not really centered. It's kind of off to the side, which I think looks kind of neat. So. All right, so once I am happy with this, I'm going to go ahead and put this in my lamp and I'm going to go ahead and fully cure it. And I know we're going to scrub into it, but we actually want this gel to be completely set to do that. All right, so I'm opening up both the orange and the pink pigments, which is what we're going to use to scrub a little bit more color into that layer of gel that we just put down for the butterfly wings. Alright, so I am picking up a little bit of this pigment on my pencil brush, which you can use another kind of brush, but I just like this one because it's really kind of small and tapered, so it makes it easy to get in these small spaces. And as you notice there, I dabbed a lot of that pigment color off because I don't want it super bright, and I just kind of scrub it right onto the gel. And because the gel is tacky, it's going to absorb some of that color, so you get kind of a nice, as you can see there, a soft orange onto the wings. And then we're going to do the pink in the other part. Now, even if you don't want to do this butterfly nail art, imagine all the different techniques you could use with this. So you can just put down a little bit of gel art and then kind of scrub a little bit more color into it with these pigments, and it'll just give it such a dimensional effect. It'll make it look like real, like watercolor art. I just think it's such a pretty look, and I love how the orange and the pink look together scrubbed into this gel. Alright, so now I'm going to open up this Savillon black gel paint from that set. And you can definitely use black gel for this, but if you're going to do that, I would suggest that you flash cure very often so that way you don't have too much spread from the product, because you really want these fine detailed lines for the outline of the butterfly wings. So I'm going to speed through this just so we don't have to be here for the next 10 minutes watching me do this. But really all you're looking to do is pick up a little bit of the gel and then kind of thin it out on your brush, and then you're going to make the outline of the wings, and then you're going to make the detailed lines on the wings. So I don't think you need me talking through all of that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but that's really all I'm doing. And then after I finish all of the black lines, I'll go ahead and cure. Alright, so once you're happy with all your black detail lines, like I said, you're going to go ahead and fully cure this, and then we'll move on to the white details, and that's it. Alright, so now I'm opening up that white Savillon gel paint from that kit, and I'm just going to add a few little dots in here and kind of add some highlights to the body and the antenna. Alright, so here we have all the white details done, and I'm just loving this so much, and it really wasn't that difficult. I mean, granted, it did take a little bit of time with all the lines and dots, but otherwise I didn't think it was that hard, really. And the great thing again about gel is that if you don't like it, you can stop it and wipe it off and do it again. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put my gel top coat on that last nail, and I just think everything is looking so beautiful. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So I need to take care of these dry cuticles now. So I'm going to go into my Scales of a Mermaid cuticle oil and just growing with the flow. And just a heads up on this one, this was limited edition, so you're seeing it here in the limited edition packaging. But they did bring it back to mainline, so it is available once again, but it's just the packaging is that longer 10 milliliter bottle, but still the same great scent. And this is a white floral, and it does smell very soft and very sweet, so it's not overpowering at all. So if you're somebody who likes a light floral scent, I really do think you'll enjoy this one. And in case you missed my announcement on Instagram, guys, I am now a permanent ambassador for Scales of a Mermaid, and I couldn't be more excited because, as you know, since I discovered them, I haven't really been able to use anything else. So it works out perfectly because now I'll be able to share with you all the new scents, and you will have my ambassador code, which is Carrie10. So make sure you use that on all your Scales of a Mermaid purchases so you can get your discount. Alright guys, so here's our butterfly nail art all finished and the mani all done. And I just love these colors, and I'm really loving the reflectiveness in these shard glitters. I think they're so gorgeous. And y'all, I'm telling you, all you gotta do is give me 6 solids and 6 matching glitters, and I am a happy camper. I am very easy to please. So this collection was definitely one for me. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below. Did you guys pick up anything from this collection, or did you pick up the whole collection like me? Did you fall into the 6 solids and 6 coordinating glitters trap? Because I sure did, but I am not mad about it. So let me know if you guys picked up anything from this collection, and if so, what are your thoughts? Alright guys, so that is going to complete this video. So I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you have not subscribed already, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. And don't forget that notification bell. We got new content coming every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Central. As always, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with me for a little bit. And I love you to pieces. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you.